Hey guys, OA2IN Gaming here, and I'm going to be doing a video I've just planned for a long while, and I was just waiting for the right time to release it. But I think now is kind of the time because Luca Tedesco, I've been monitoring his Twitter like a hawk, and literally there is nothing going to come up. I can't see a gamma being released soon, so I'm going to release this tutorial now because I want this to be easy but yet hard in a way, because I don't want people doing this that don't know what they're doing and then fucking up their device. That's the last thing I want. But basically, I'm going to show you how to jailbreak iOS 10.1 on the iPhone 7, any version on the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, any version of iOS 10, but 10.1.1 or 10.1 is recommended on the iPhone 6s, Samsung chip, not the TSMC chip, that won't work, the Samsung chip, the iPhone SE with the Samsung chip. But there is a hack for the TSMC chip, and research into that yourself. I personally have an iPhone 7, so if you want to research yourself into the TSMC chip, that's fine. But there is a hack out there, I do know that much. Just monitor Luca Tedesco's Twitter. The iPad Pro, I think both of the iPad Pro models are supported. And that's it. I think that's it. The iPhone 6s, 6s Plus, the iPad Pro, and the iPhone SE. And every version except the iPhone 7 works on all iOS 10 versions under 10.1.1, but it's both recommended 10.1 and 0.1. You get me so far. So basically, what you want to download is you want to download Beta 3. I know there's a Beta 4 out, but it actually is broken. I have tried it. It didn't work on my device. Apparently, it's very bad. I don't. Look. I don't recommend. I recommend Beta 3 because you can still get Substrate from a hack that I do not recommend you install, but I have it, and I haven't caused much issues by it. But definitely don't use yucky utilities. So basically, CD Impactor, you want to download CD Impactor. So just click the link in CD Impactor, and whatever operating system you have, basically Mac OS 10, Windows, or Linux. It works on all three systems and the process is identical on all of them. And you want to download Beta 3. Beta 3 is the most stable of the betas. I'm not saying it's a stable jailbreak, but if you're doing it, Beta 3 definitely. So yeah, once you have those two files downloaded, you just need to run the executable or the DMG file, whatever, to get your CD Impactor. And you want to download your Yalu, and you want to plug in your device via a lightning cable. There is a lot of precautions you can go through. I haven't went through them, but you can if you want. Like turn off Find My iPhone, sign out of iCloud. That's a balls. Look, it does minimize something going wrong. I will say that. I'll be the first person in the world to say that. But in my opinion, I didn't notice anything with it. Touch wood. So all you want to do now is you want to drag the Mac Portal Yalu app over here, and you enter your iTunes email login. So guys, when you have that done, it will say list teams and it will start signing the application. Basically, this is a different version of CD Impactor. Basically, is it uses your own IPA to sign the app. You will be very familiar with this if you're on the iOS 9.3.3 jailbreak. But it re-signs. I have the Mac Portal app now on my phone, so I'm going to start recording. It's that quick. You just need to do this once a week. But if you're used to tethered jailbreaking, like in the good old days of jailbreaking, it's actually nothing. So it's semi-tethered, pretty self-explanatory from there. But I'm just going to show you now how to achieve this. So guys, when you are on your iPhone, you will see the Mac Portal app. I know I have CD already installed, but that is absolutely irrelevant, guys. I'm just re-enabling this jailbreak. So all you want to do is click on the Mac Portal app. It will say an untrusted developer. That is completely normal. Just go to Settings, General, and do Profile and Device Management. So I just press Trust on the email. You want to go back into the app. So guys, the app will crash. That is normal. You want that to happen. And Cydia is now functioning. It should load up. And if it doesn't work, you want to pull down the home button and the power button if you're on any device except the iPhone 7. But if you're rocking the iPhone 7, I want you to hold the volume down button after it crashes. It might fail a few times, but I'm reinstalling it, so it doesn't really for me. But as you can see, I have a lot of sources here, but that's just because I'm re-enabling the jailbreak, obviously. But I'm going to leave to add this source. This is the Substrate Enabler source, and you want to click Edit, add, and you want to edit this repo. I'm going to leave the repo in the description. Basically, all you have to do is add that. You might have to type it in manually, but you know what I'll do actually? I'll leave it in the comments. So you'll be able to copy and paste it because it's a load of characters and everything and it's evolved. So I'll leave it in the comments as well, just in case you want to copy it in. And there's another one that I want you to install. It's Beta Cydia. It is Cydia Beta, and basically it lets you install Cydia from a beta. It's much more optimized for iOS 10, so that's definitely a thing. It is a little bit buggy, like mine didn't refresh, but if you do get any bugs, just reinstall Cydia installer and refresh and you will be golden. So now it's refreshing away. Cydia is up and running, working perfectly, absolutely no complaints. So once you have this installed, you're basically fine, and you have to respring to get to your jailbroken or super jailbroken state. So basically what I'm going to say now, just for example, is the substrate fix. This is what, after you download the substrate fix, this will appear, because for some reason when I respring I just get a black screen and I have to reboot and re-enable via the Mac Portal app. But this is what I do. So I'm just have to obviously stop recording now, but I will be recording in a minute, so just give me a second. So guys, basically this is a tip that I have came up with myself. I haven't seen anybody on YouTube do this, but this is my jailbreak tip. I will be talking to you more in depth in a video I will do literally after this cut, but basically I'll show you now. Just click on modify. If you want to install a package, I'm just clicking reinstall, click confirm, and it will run everything. But this is my biggest thing. This is just an issue that's sold on my phone. I don't know if anybody else is having this issue. So this is pretty normal. You would think it's good to click to restart Springboard, but I do not do this. I double click the home button, quit Cydia, and if I want to install that tweak, I click the substrate fix button and you will respring and you will be absolutely golden. That's how I work it. That's how I've been working it. Rather than, because sometimes when I respring is I just get a black screen. I know it's dead because my home button isn't clicking. My home button ain't clicking. And when I try to turn on the phone, I'm absolutely none the wiser. I'm none the wiser, and I have to redo the Mac Portal every time I install a tweak. Whereas this is a good way to keep you jailbroken for longer, and I definitely do recommend that because I have a lot of tweaks installed, and like the video if you want to see a tweak video. But back to now to my explanation. Basically, I just want to talk to you about jailbreaking and why you shouldn't do it. So I have jailbroken. I started off jailbreaking in 9.3.3. I used to have an old iPhone 3G that was jailbroken, but I didn't know what it was then. I didn't even know. I just thought it was like the stereotype that it was a bad thing. I didn't know that my phone was completely unlocked. Unlocked not from a carrier's perspective, but from a software perspective. But basically, I think you do have to know a lot about it to maintain the jailbreak, because if you don't know what you're doing, like, this is not someone like doing their first jailbreak. Like my first jailbreak last time, I was like, I didn't know what I was doing. But now with iOS 10, this is kind of more of a, jailbreaks are getting kind of like the old ways. Like it's not like, oh, chug the USB stick into the computer, plug it in, click run, and everything does it for you, and you have an untethered jailbreak, you never have to touch your computer again. It's not like that anymore. Apple are cracking down on the exploits, and they don't want. There's a team of people. There's a team of people out there making sure that you can't do this to your device. So, like, it is only recommended. Like, and I would only recommend this to people who either really know what they're doing. And I don't take any responsibility. Like, I'm talking really know what you're doing. Like, if you know how to, like, people who monitor Lucas Tedesco's Twitter like a hawk. People who monitor tweaks. People who, because this is not like where you can browse the forums on the internet and look for a fix. You have to prowl Twitter. You have to tweet at people. Like, Twitter is your friend here. Like, I have a lot of issues with tweaks. You tweet at the developers. I have a lot of, like, you tweet at developers. You DM developers. You reply. They reply. You have to be good timing. If you monitor it well, you can't come back and reply to a tweet 2 days later. Have to find bugs, report back to developers. If you find bugs, like, just to use an example now, I'm talking to G Morgan on Twitter now, and I've had a few conversations with him about bugs via Noctis and Laughing Crawl. I'm talking to him a lot on Twitter as well, just via that, and finding out bugs, sending pictures, payment options. Just it's definitely a lot more community than it was before. Like, it's not as Google the jailbreak Reddit thread for a fix. It's like you kind of have to know what you do yourself to an extent, and you have to treat them with a bit of intelligence. Like, you have to say what's going wrong, and you have to give them enough information to supply you with, so that they aren't like clueless when they're talking to you. So you have to give them enough information that they can work with. So you have to know what's going on with your device. You have to know the specifics. You have to know like how to fix very basic issues, but report bugs to developers, as I said. Try find fixes for bugs, monitor updates. Like, I had an issue, Cydia wasn't refreshing for me on the beta 5 of the, I think it's 1 point, I don't know, I can't think of it off the top of my head. But I had a very big issue that Cydia wasn't refreshing, so what I had to do is I had to reinstall the Cydia installer, and then I had to do a massive refresh of my things to get all the tweaks back up and running again. You have to do similar to the thing you have to do if you clear the Cydia sources with iCleaner. A similar kind of gist to that. It's like that, except just reinstalling the Cydia installer, and I seem to be okay now from that point of view. And another thing is, be prepared, especially when you're around this time, because I can't see a gamma coming out soon for Luca Tedesco's jailbreak. I just can't. And be prepared for adding a lot of beta repos, a lot of them. You will be adding a lot of beta repos, and this is probably the most expensive jailbreak. And I know they're obviously free out of the box, but and the CPP Digital Darkroom, I am subscribed to them, so it's only $9.99 for a year, and that's $9.90 as in 10 euro or dollars or wherever you're from. So that's what thereabouts is. Obviously exchange rates will range, but so obviously, and you have to pay for the beta repos. Like, if you want Gazelle, if you want Platters, if you want any of the new tweaks that people are developing, you have to be up to scratch. So basically, you just have to and you have to buy a lot of tweaks, buy a lot of access to repos, add a lot of repos, know what repos to add off the top of your head, be able to type fast is a big thing, and being able to get good memory, to be able to remember repos off the top of your head, look at a repo and not be checking over it every 2 minutes without Snapper 3 I think it's called. But jailbreaking at the moment, I wouldn't recommend it. I did have issues with service, I did have issues with FaceTime, iMessage. I got lucky as in the terminal fix that Luca posted worked, but still, obviously Substrate doesn't work out of the box with this jailbreak. Obviously it's Dirty Harp that Luca has addressed, he doesn't agree with it, and also Luca definitely has addressed he doesn't agree with it, and Sark has posted a big thing about it, that he even gave out to Luca a bit for releasing this in the beta stage, that there is people, jailbreak novices that aren't developers. I'm not saying I'm a developer myself now, but just people that don't know what they're doing, novices whereas I consider myself an intermediate jailbreaker, as in I know how to fix issues and I know how to add tweaks as well. So I'm a bit of a mixture of that. I consider myself intermediate to higher. So that's what I consider myself. I wouldn't consider myself an expert jailbreak developer who I can do a verbose boot in my computer. I can't type in wheeling commands to the terminal. That's not my thing. But this tutorial, take it with a pinch of salt. And that was the main reason why I made this is, take this with a pinch of salt. I will leave all the links you need. Luca Tedesco's Twitter I'm going to leave in. If you're interested in jailbreaking, you need to follow that. The gamma is for people that would be, say, from beginner to intermediate, and then the public release is for beginners. That's what it is at the moment. That's the way I put it. This isn't the beginner world anymore. It's not like, as I said, it's not like fucking a cable into your computer, pressing run, Pangu does it all for you, and it's untethered and you're golden. It doesn't work like that anymore. So just basically, guys, what I have to say is just be mindful of it, and take this and justify. I don't take any responsibility if anything happens to your device, nor does Luca, nor does the jailbreak developers, nor does any of the tweak makers. Just take that So I will leave sources in the description. I leave Luke Tedesco's Yahoo download page. I will leave his Twitter, and I will leave Sark's Twitter and Sark's Twitter in the description just in case you want to need it. And I will leave a few necessary repos, like I'm talking RP3's repo for Rocket Bootstrap, RP3's repo or Petrich, I think his name is, for Rocket Bootstrap, like the substrate fix. But on the substrate fix, do not install OpenSSH. OpenSSH, if you don't know what that is, number one, you shouldn't really be jailbreaking in the first place. But anyway, it changes the root password so that people can gain access to your device, because obviously every device that Apple ships has a default password, kind of like the Mac where the password is Alpine. I don't know exactly what the password is, but you can customize it using OpenSSH. Obviously, I don't recommend installing Yuki Utilities. It's in the same source and repository as the substrate fix, but I wouldn't recommend it because it installs OpenSSL, OpenSSH, and the Yuki Utilities. It says it makes it stable. I'm not going to rely on that. But anyway, Luca doesn't recommend you jailbreak. I don't recommend you jailbreak. I'm going to leave everything you need in the description, but just basically, and if you want to check your software, settings, general, software, settings, general, about. And it'll say the software version there, and it'll see if you're on. But this, as I said this before, but I'm just going to say it again. iPhone SE Samsung chip. If you don't know what chip your phone has, wait until the stable release. Or if you're really anxious to jailbreak and you know a lot, use Geekbench. Geekbench will tell you, Google's your friend. Geekbench will tell you, what else is they going to say? So if you're using TSMC, Samsung, fine, you're flying it. But for the A9 TSMC chip, Geekbench and Google. That's all I can advise for you. Samsung supported fine, but TSMC, Google, and I believe there is a hotfix at the moment, so if you are prepared to deal with a third-party fix, by all means go ahead. But so basically, if I give you one thing from this video, is take this with a pinch of salt. Like, can't emphasize that enough. Take this jailbreak tutorial with a pinch of salt and just see it as, oh look, if I could, this is how to do it. And I probably won't upload a stable release because how to install an IPA is identical everywhere. And another thing is, that nobody seems to mention is, you have to sign it every 7 days. That's fine by me. He doesn't have an embedded certificate in it. That's fine by me. Sign this every week. It takes 2 seconds. You saw the tutorial. It just says list teams, takes 2 seconds. Trust your own developer, and that's it. And basically, obviously, if you want to know anything more about that, but if anything more about signing IPAs, it basically uses Xcode. If you're using Xcode for a while, that Xcode basically just signs IPAs for you, whereas this lets you do it on any operating system and just a lot easier format. Just using your own Apple ID as a temporary signing, so it just signs it with your own Apple ID, because obviously Apple implemented that feature a few iOSs ago. So they just want you to get developers active, so they let your apps work for a week and then they just crash on the spot, and then you have to reinstall it every week. It's only 56 times a year. It's not much. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll answer them happily. But take this with a pinch of salt. I advise you not to jailbreak, but if you really want to, I cannot stop you, but please don't. Unless you know exactly what you're doing or you're a developer. And I don't take any responsibility, guys, but basically, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. So see ya.